Hey, sis. Today is 100 days before Christmas. Can you believe it? I feel like the summer just ended, and here it is, Christmas within our view. I feel as though Christmas when I was single was just really hard. It was particularly poignant that I was alone as my cousins brought their fiancés over to meet the family, and I was single yet again another year. Christmas can be hard when you're single. There was one Christmas that I woke up. I was living in Michigan, and I woke up in my condo alone on Christmas Day and spent all of Christmas Day alone. And I remember going to a movie theater and watching a movie just so that I could be around people and not be in my condominium alone. So when I look at the fact that it's 100 days before Christmas, I literally think to myself, I want to make it my mission so that my Christian sisters have someone that they can hug and they can kiss and they can love on Christmas Day. I want to make it my mission that my Christian sisters don't have to spend Christmas Day single. I want to help my Christian sisters find their person before Christmas. So I thought, okay, today is 100 days before Christmas. What is it that I want to share? And truly, I wanted to share my story. I wanted to share how I learned how to create chemistry because I feel like it's a powerful story, like hearing how Caleb and I met and how my journey to learn how to be a captivating siren occurred. Like, I thought that would be the thing that would be most helpful to you today, and it would encourage you on your journey. So, here's my story. I grew up in a very conservative home. My family was very protective. My parents homeschooled my brother and sister and I. So we didn't go to school, and they basically were helicopter parents. They oversaw everything that we did, even at our church. When we were at church, whatever activity we were in, my parents were involved. So when we were in Awana, my parents were leading Awana. When we were in youth group, my parents were leading the youth group. And it just really was interesting to never be allowed to do anything on my own. I remember when I turned 16 thinking like, okay, now I'm going to be able to date. And my parents informing me, no, you aren't. I was not given any kind of permission to spend time with guys or talk to guys. If I talked to a guy for too long, it was a problem. And yeah, very protective. And then into my 20s, even then, my parents were a little bit negative towards my going out and starting to meet guys and date. I remember my first date wasn't until I was 31. And all throughout my 20s, I can tell you that I wasn't the most captivating siren you can imagine. I was actually pretty judgmental. I had maybe picked up from my parents a little bit of that kind of strictness. And so when I talked to guys, I remember being a little bit judgy judgerson about it. Like, how much do you read the Bible? You know, was like a question that I might ask. Or do you know who John MacArthur is? Have you ever read his books? And that was the way I was. I wasn't flirty. I wasn't playful. I wasn't anything. I was actually a little bit judgmental and a little bit self-righteous and snobby. So I came across as not particularly captivating at all. And I remember watching myself talk to men and not knowing, not having any clue how to create romance. I did have crushes. I had guys I was attracted to, and I just bore it in silence. I never told them I was attracted to them. I never tried to flirt with them. I remember, like I said, just doing the opposite of flirting. And so my 20s rolled by. I had gone to Johns Hopkins University to study engineering, and I worked hard at that. I got straight A's and got into all the best grad schools, MIT, Stanford, Caltech, decided to stay at Johns Hopkins and get my master's. I was around men all the time, but I was clueless. So my 20s rolled by and enter my 30s. I was 30 and then 31, and I finally decided something's got to change. I remember it was a very small voice. It wasn't a loud voice like, I'm going to do something now. It wasn't that. My parents were still a little overbearing. I remember my dad saying, you know, you don't need to look for a spouse. One day, your spouse will just appear in front of you. A fruit will roll up to your foot, and you'll pick it up and look up, and your future husband will be there. That's literally his words to me. And so any kind of attempt on my own to create something was looked down on and treated as very negative. So I just didn't talk to my parents about my love life, well, my non-existent love life. And my parents were a strong influence on me. So I kept it to myself. And any kind of attempt that I made to create something in my love life was a very small, quiet attempt. And I remember just getting on Google and Googling, who is Michelle gonna marry? And I think just writing that down, I literally would Google, who is Michelle gonna marry? And I think that was probably what got me to some popular dating coaches. And I started watching their YouTube videos, and I remember like every Sunday a new YouTube video would come out and I would be dying to see it. And it just gave me a little bit more information and a little bit more ideas that were completely foreign to me of how to talk to men and how to be flirty and how to be playful. All of a sudden, this was brand new to me. I was 31 and I was just starting on my journey. I remember getting material from the really great dating instructors and the really great relationship instructors and just gobbling it down. I read ebook after ebook after ebook. I read so many ebooks. It was things like obsession phrases and attract any man and be captivating and all these things that were completely brand new to me. I consumed so much information. I remember signing up for a 6-month course and diligently doing it. And that was when I started talking to men. Before I was just consuming information. Finally, I started talking to men. And I remember taking out an Excel spreadsheet. Remember, I was an engineer, an Excel spreadsheet and keeping track of the men that I was talking to and keeping track of the results and like what I said and what worked and what didn't work. And finally, I will say, after all of this consumption, my greatest source of transformation was in hiring my dating coach. I don't know how I found her. I, it was some kind of Google search. She came up and I realized, wow, not only are there dating coaches that give information, there's dating coaches that would talk to me. And I literally remember being in my kitchen in Michigan and having her call me and inform me that I was a high value woman. And I remember I was overweight and I told her, I'm kind of heavier than I should be. She's like, you're a high value woman, Michelle. And it was transforming for me. And I signed up. I put together my pennies. I remember I had trouble paying gas that week because I paid for my coaching sessions with this coach. And I was just determined, like, I really want to find my person. And I signed up with her, and that was when things really transformed. I have to say, my greatest source of transformation, as wonderful as the courses and the reading material were, my greatest source of transformation was working with my very own coach. Having someone to talk to share things with, and to get a response back, to get advice, to get personal coaching. personal coaching, her eyes on my love life was my greatest source of transformation. I remember after I watched her session on how to write a dating profile, I changed my profile immediately to match what she was saying. And immediately I started getting more guys talking to me, more guys telling me how much they were interested and how attracted they were to my profile, and how what a cool person I sounded like. And my messages started to change, what I started saying to the guys started to change. It was it was wonderful. And the most wonderful thing, of course, was 3 months later meeting Caleb and being able to have the confidence, the playfulness, the sassiness that totally reeled him in within the, I would say, probably third phone conversation. He was telling me, I love you. And I know it's because of what I had transformed over all those years. I had learned how to talk to men. I had learned how to be playful and confident. I had learned how not to let a conversation go in the direction of boring. I had learned how to set myself apart from and be different from all the other women. I had learned how to create I want you energy without letting it be sexual. I had learned all of these things. And all of these things created such a powerful force inside of me that when I talked to Caleb, it was magical. It was incredibly powerful. And it just continued. So he said, I love you within the first three phone conversations that we had together. I said, I love you back. And that truly is the most beautiful part of our story because we instantly fell in love. The chemistry was there. It was so strong right away. And I truly believe it was because of the years of knowledge that I had amassed and the way men thought and how to create how to create a feeling with another person, and all the practice I had done in talking to other men and building my confidence and building my skill. All of that was the culmination of it was having us fall in love like right away and like avoid the pitfalls of the boring conversations and the oh, good morning, how are you? I'm fine, how are you conversations. All of that was avoided because I was so ready to help create something unique and special. So when I think about our dating life and how special and romantic it was, even today we look back on it and we comment on like, oh, remember when we did this and remember when we said that? And our dating life was probably one of the most special memories that we have. So Caleb was in Oregon and I was in Michigan, and our dating life was mostly long distance. I would say we met June 23rd, and until I moved to Oregon, I think it was probably May, like May of the next year. So all of that time leading up to it, from June to May, we were long distance. And even though we were long distance, we had such a passionate romance. And I remember just leaning heavily on my coach and the things that I had learned and how to create romance and how to talk to a guy and who speaks a totally different language from me. So what I want you to think about for your journey is you don't have to go to the lengths that I went to to learn all the tips and tricks and techniques needed to create chemistry with a guy. You don't have to spend years the way I did because I have distilled it for you. I think about the fact that there's 100 days before Christmas. I want women to be with their person before that. They don't have time to do what I did. They don't have time to take all the courses and read all the books and, and find the ebooks and find the YouTube videos and they just don't have time. I am here to save you that time. I am here to transfer the the skills that you need as quickly as you need them. So what I want you to think about is, where do you want to be in 100 days? Who do you want to be with? I want you literally to think about that. Who do you want to be with? How tall is he? What does he look like? What does he smell like? What does he do for a living? What does he do for fun? What does he do on Sunday mornings? What kind of church does he go to? I want you to think about how do you want him to treat you? How do you want him to think about you? For me, I remember listening to my coach say, "You're looking for someone who adores you." And I'm like, yes, yes, that's what you want on Christmas Day, to be adored. So I'm really excited. Today is 100 days before Christmas. And I know you've been wondering, how can I get help? How can I learn these things, Michelle, that you learned quickly, just like you said? I don't want to do all the things that you did, Michelle. I don't want to be going to the men's section at Macy's and practicing just so that I can figure it out on my own. I don't want to do that. I just want you to tell me. I want you to help me. So excited to tell you that today I am announcing my last sisterhood cohort for this year. It's going to be starting October 21st. And in the sisterhood, oh my gosh, guys, it is amazing. I have clients who get married, go and start relationships. I have clients who grow their confidence in themselves, start talking to more men, feel like there are more men than they have time to talk to, feel like there's so many great guys out there. So many good things come out of my sisterhood. I have one client who said, I've always wished that there was a support group for singles, and now I'm in one. And the sisterhood is designed to be an intimate group. I only allow a maximum of 8 women in there. And it's an intimate small group coaching program where I train you how to create chemistry, where I help you find men and create more connections. I help you grow your confidence, and I help you learn how to communicate in a way that inspires men to commit to you. That's why I have so much testimonials that women are getting married, leaving my sisterhood. Or I have a woman who got married while the sisterhood was going on. And that's it. My sisterhood is in 6 months. She started my program and got married in less than 6 months. And so my desire for you is for this to be your love story, for you to get the support you need, for you to get the help that you need, for you to get the teachings and skills and techniques that you need to find your person and have them fall in love with you the third conversation in. If that sounds like something that you want, it's time to talk to me. So I want you to check the show notes. There's a link there to my website, or you can just go to my website by me telling you. It's thechristiandatingcoach.com, and book a call. Just book a consult call. It's my free gift to you. In that call, I will listen to you talk about your love life. I will ask you the questions that will help me be able to tell you what is keeping you single, what is keeping you stuck, what's the one thing that needs to change in order for you to find your person. And then if I think you're a good fit for my program, I'll tell you about my program. And even if you're not a good fit for my program, you're still going to get so much value out of the call. So book the call now, and let's get you married, sis.